Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Right, so this particular article that I found today involves the Access to Work scheme, which, as we all know, is suffering huge delays and was reportedly suffering from cutbacks. And this article that I'm going to show you now is very ironic. I'm sure the irony will not be lost on you with this article. And it really is bizarre, to be fair. So I'm going to show you the article now. Take a look at it with me, and then of course I'd love to hear your thoughts afterwards. Let's take a look. Okay, here we are. Disability rights campaigner has to quit her job because the DWP has cut her support. We thought they wanted to support disabled people into work. Co-founder and co-artistic director of Tourette's Hero sadly announced last week that she had had to make the heartbreaking decision to step down from her role because Access to Work had cut her funding by over 60%. The reason a disabled person who has given so much to the community can no longer do her job because the DWP is refusing to support her to do it. Jess told the Canary that she had been a claimant of Access to Work since 2010, and that the fund has the reason I can work, and now ironically the reason I could work in the first place. This is the reason I had to give up my job that I love. Due to Jess's condition, which causes daily involuntary seizures and worsens the severity of her tics, she requires 24-hour care and support to keep her safe. This includes both at home and at work. The DWP Access to Work scheme funds her full-time support worker accessible travel and specialised equipment relating to her work, including a wheelchair. She was previously fully funded for this support by Access to Work, but at the beginning of May she found out that DWP were cutting her funding by 61%, meaning that if she was to continue to have support, the PAs would be expected to earn below living wage. This is something Jess was so shocked about that she went back to Access to Work to make sure they were aware and that this is illegal. We specifically asked them, is rate the way inclusive of all employment costs? And they were like, this is the gross amount, that's all, an all-inclusive amount. We clarified with them that because initially I was like, 50% this is just incompetence and 50% is deliberate, it became increasingly clear that it was deliberate, and they were standing by their decision. Jess said the DWP had given her no guidance on how to now pay for her support worker, and it's unclear how they expect her to pay for such a vital part of her team. Whilst there were parts of the award that could have been workable, such as there not being any changes to the equipment, she couldn't accept any of it. There's a part on Access to Work award letter that essentially seems to suggest that if you claim against that award in any capacity, then you are accepting the terms and conditions of that award, and that you are accepting that award. So it became increasingly clear that I had to stop working because it's not a workable award. Jess's team said she spent 83 hours just last week challenging the DWP's decision. That's a huge amount of time that they could have spent running other projects whilst also navigating everyday disability barriers. This decision doesn't just affect Jess's team because they are losing one of their leaders. Tourette's Hero is a disabled-led organisation, and many of the other employees also can only work because of their Access to Work. With the new changes, Jess fears the whole organisation will be forced to close. And it's like the idea that I can't work, not because of anything to do with my employer or anything to do with me, but because of an arbitrary decision when nothing has changed in me or my work, or even formally in Access to Work zone guidelines and policies. Now, as always, I will leave a link to that article in the description to this video. But it's ironic, isn't it, that this charity, which is led by disabled people, people who use Access to Work in order to get work, in order to stay in this job, could now be forced to close the entire organisation and lose a lot of people from work because of Access to Work's cutting of funding. And that just seems bizarre to me, because the government have said all along that this green paper is about getting people into work. It's saying that work is good for you. It's saying they will support you when you're going into work. If you can work, you should work, and they will support you. And also, they say they are the party of working people. So on two fronts, they are failing. because they have now forced this young lady Jess to quit her job because of the funding that they were using to support her. Potentially her team could also suffer the same fate, and also she was doing exactly what the government wanted disabled people to do. She had got a job that she loved. She hadn't been forced into a job she didn't enjoy. She loved the job, and obviously she needs help with that role, and she's been given it. You can't expect an organisation, you can't expect an employer to take on that kind of funding. You can't. It's just going to be too much for them. So if they want people who are disabled to work, they've got to give them support. And so I think that, you can't have it both ways. You can't have someone who is on benefits at home, not able to work, and say, well, that's not good enough, you should be working, and then have them in work, but then not giving them the access to the support they need to do that. So it's just really ironic, I think this is the case. And the reason why I've highlighted this particular case is because I know that you guys do share my videos around, and I really do appreciate that. And I would hope that you share this one as well, so that people who are perhaps in government or are close to government can see the absolute ridiculousness of this situation, that they are effectively cutting funding for the very thing they're trying to get people out of benefits for. So anyway, I'm hoping that you guys will share this around. I know you guys are very good at doing that. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section as well about this complete farce of a situation. And thank you very much for joining me. Please do subscribe if you've got this far to help push the channel forward, and I will see you next time.